So you're thinking about cutting the cord, and you've heard all this hype about the BuzzTV XRS4500. It promises a premium streaming box experience with features that put the big brands to shame. N, but here's what surprised me. After testing it for weeks against the competition, I found it's not just another Android box. It's almost in a completely different category. N, however, that extra capability comes with a hefty price tag that made me genuinely ask, is any streaming device worth this much money? Therefore, in this brutally honest review, we're going to break down exactly what you get, what you don't, and whether your money is better spent elsewhere. N for the best price on Amazon. Click the link in the description right now. Let's get into it. N first, the unboxing. It feels premium. You get the box itself, a voice remote, power adapter, and an HDMI cable. The XRS4500 itself is sleek, matte black, and surprisingly heavy. That weight, it's not just for show. It hints at serious internal hardware, which we'll get to in a second. But immediately, I noticed the remote. It has a full keyboard on the back, dedicated streaming service buttons, and a microphone for Google Assistant. It feels like a remote designed by people who actually use their streaming box, not just engineers. N, therefore, right out of the gate, the experience feels more serious than a typical Fire Stick or Roku. However, that's also the first clue about who this box is for. This isn't for your grandma who just wants to watch Netflix. This is for a power user. N, let's talk core specs, because this is where the price tag starts to make sense. We're looking at an Amlogic S9 5x4 chipset, 4 GB of DDR4 RAM, and 128 GB of internal storage. For perspective, a top-tier NVIDIA Shield has 3 GB of RAM and 16 GB storage. So on paper, the BuzzTV is massively overpowered for just streaming Netflix. It's like buying a sports car to drive to the grocery store. But that's the key question. Is all this power necessary or just overkill? N, therefore, I tested it where it counts. Loading times, app switching, and high bitrate video. Apps like Netflix and Disney Plus launched almost instantly, switching between 5 heavy apps. No reloading, they stayed in memory. I played a 4K HDR10 file with a massive bitrate from a local server, and it didn't even stutter. The performance is, frankly, silky smooth. N, but here's the twist. The real reason for that powerful hardware isn't just for official apps. It's for the other side of the Android TV ecosystem. The XRS4500 runs full vanilla Android 11 TV. That means you have access to the Google Play Store in its entirety. You can sideload any Android app. You can run game emulators, use it as a Plex server, or install advanced IPTV players. This box doesn't have the walled garden of a Roku or the heavily skinned interface of Amazon Fire OS. It's an open platform. N, therefore, if you're someone who just wants a simple, curated experience, this open nature might actually be a downside. It's more complex, but if you want control, it's a paradise. It's the difference between renting a furnished apartment and buying a house you can renovate. One is easier, the other lets you do anything you want, even if that includes installing an app to turn your TV into a giant digital fish tank. My cat was very confused, but highly entertained. That's joke number 1. N, now, let's address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, the BuzzTV name and its reputation. If you've researched these boxes, you know they are often associated with unofficial IPTV and live TV services. The company walks a fine line. The box itself is perfectly legal hardware. What you choose to do with it is up to you. This is a crucial point. The XRS4500 is a powerful tool. A hammer can build a house or break a window. This box is a very, very good hammer. N, therefore, its software includes some features you won't find on mainstream devices. It has built-in players and organizers that are incredibly efficient for managing large libraries of, let's call them, user-acquired media. The interface can be customized heavily with different launchers. It's built for flexibility that other boxes deliberately avoid. N, but does that justify the price? That's the core of our review. N, let's dive into the daily user experience. The home screen is clean Android TV. You can install the BuzzTV launcher for a more customized look, but I stuck with the standard one for familiarity. Navigation is fast. Voice search via the remote works perfectly with Google Assistant. Hey Google, play The Mandalorian on Disney+. Bam, it's on. The picture quality is excellent, supporting up to 4K at 60 FPS, HDR10 and HLG. Colors popped on my OLED, and upscaling of 1080p content was decent, though not quite at the level of the Shield's AI upscaling. /N, however, I hit my first reel, but the lack of Dolby Vision support is a noticeable omission at this price point. For a box touting premium specs, missing a major HDR format is a strike against it if you have a high-end TV that supports it. It's like buying a premium car without heated seats in a cold climate. It still drives great, but you feel the absence. /N, therefore, for movie purists with Dolby Vision libraries, this might be a deal-breaker. For everyone else, HDR10 is still fantastic. /N now, let's talk about something every streamer hates, buffering and Wi-Fi issues. The XRS4500 has dual-band Wi-Fi and a gigabit Ethernet port. I always recommend using Ethernet for any set-top box if you can. The connection was rock solid. I streamed high bitrate 4K content for hours without a single buffer. It handled network strain better than any other device I've tested, including when other devices were hogging bandwidth. It's the reliable friend who shows up on time with the moving truck, while your Fire Stick is the friend who texts 5 minutes away an hour ago. That's joke number 2, /N, but here's where the power user features shine. Using advanced IPTV apps or media players like TiVmate or VLC, the experience is buttery smooth. Channel switching is instant. EPG, Electronic Program Guide, data loads in a flash. The box doesn't break a sweat. For someone who wants a cable-like live TV experience from internet sources, this performance is worth paying for. /N, therefore, the value proposition is becoming clearer. You're not just paying for streaming apps. You're paying for flawless execution of more demanding, network-intensive tasks. /N, let's talk about the elephant and also the furniture. The interface, while clean, can feel a bit sterile compared to something like Fire TV. It's functional, but with Android you can change it. I downloaded a third-party launcher and completely changed the look. That's the power of an open system. It's like your phone. You can make it yours. /N, however, with great power comes great responsibility to occasionally fiddle with settings. You might need to adjust audio pass-through in certain apps or set default video players. It's not plug and play in the same way a simpler device is. It's plug, play, and potentially tweak for optimum performance. /N, therefore, if the phrase audio codec settings makes you nervous, this box's full potential might be lost on you. But if you get a thrill from optimizing your setup, you'll love it. /N gaming. Yes, you can game on it. It's not a PlayStation 5, but for cloud gaming via Xbox Game Pass or GeForce Now, it's excellent. The powerful processor handles the decoding seamlessly. For Android games and emulators up to PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64, it's a powerhouse. I played some old-school Mario Kart 64, and it was perfect. It took me back. It also took me half an hour to remember how to play, which says more about my aging reflexes than the box. That's joke number 3. /N, but compared to the NVIDIA Shield, which has dedicated gaming features and controller support, the BuzzTV is more of a capable dabbler than a dedicated gaming machine. Therefore, if gaming is a primary focus, the Shield might still have the edge. But as a bonus feature, the XRS4500 is very competent. /N after weeks of use, what's the final verdict? Is the BuzzTV XRS4500 worth the extra money? /N, here's the resolution. If you are a casual streamer who only uses Netflix, Hulu, and Disney+, then absolutely not. A $40 Fire Stick 4K Max will serve you perfectly. Spending over 4 times that much would be like using a flamethrower to light a candle. Impressive, but unnecessary and slightly dangerous. /N, however, if you fall into a specific category, this box isn't an expense. It's an investment. You are a power user. You want an open Android TV system with no restrictions. You consume high bitrate media from local servers or the internet. You want a supremely reliable, buffering-free experience for live TV services. You like to customize and tinker. You want the headroom of 4 GB RAM and 128 GB storage for years of future updates and apps. \n therefore, for that user, the BuzzTV XRS4500 isn't just worth it. It might be the best tool for the job. It delivers a level of performance and flexibility that mainstream boxes can't touch because they aren't designed to \n, but remember its limitations. No Dolby Vision, and it requires a bit more technical comfort than a simple streamer. \n in the end, the BuzzTV XRS4500 is a premium, powerful, open-platform Android TV box. It excels in raw performance and flexibility for the enthusiast. For the right person, the extra money isn't just spent. It's well invested in a superior, frustration-free experience. For everyone else, it's overkill. And so did it convince me. For my setup, as someone who hates buffering and loves having options, yes. The smoothness and control won me over. It's the most capable streaming device I've used that isn't a full-blown HTPC. Just be honest about your needs. Don't buy a race car if you just need a reliable commute. \n, and if you've decided this powerful box is for you, you can find the best current price on Amazon by clicking the link in the description below. That link supports the channel at no extra cost to you. Thanks for watching. And remember, no matter what box you get, the real struggle is deciding what to watch. My recommendation, always default to a nature documentary. It makes you feel smart while you're eating cereal for dinner. And that's joke number 4. Cheers!